Darrin Jackson is the current radio analyst for the Chicago White Sox, a former center fielder in Major League Baseball. Darrin played 19 years professionally, playing for both the Chicago Cubs and White Sox. His career also took him to Canada, where he played for the Toronto Blue Jays, and Japan for the Seibu Lions. Darrin has been the radio analyst for the Chicago White Sox since 2009. Darrin, welcome and congratulations for being chosen for our Black History Month Award for Achievements in Sports. Maybe you could start off for some of our listeners and tell them what your fondest memory of playing professional baseball is.
Wow, Mike. A lot of great memories, that's for sure. But I would have to say probably playing the outfield next to Tony Gwynn in my career. Tony Gwynn was probably one of the most amazing human beings you could ever meet, let alone one of the greatest baseball players you were ever going to come across. But just as a person and a friend, and the infectious laugh that he had, I'd say that's my fondest memory, being around him day in and day out when I played with the San Diego Padres. Just getting to know Tony Gwynn was probably the fondest memory of my career.
Well, Tony Gwynn was a great player, was a great person. Although I'd say one of my least fond memories in baseball was his postseason in 1984.
I get that. You know, that was a little downtime for the Cubs fans at that particular time.
That was. Well, so you had a very long career playing professionally. You've had a long career in the sports broadcast industry. How did you make that choice? And we talked a little earlier. How did you choose the broadcast booth versus the coaching route?
It came down to a simple thing. In 1999, I was playing with the White Sox and was considering coming back. But in the end, it came down to this. I got a phone call from our general manager, Ron Schuler, at the time saying, hey, Jerry Reinsdorf wants to meet with you. And this was during the offseason. I'm like, uh-oh, that can't be good. Never good when you're the oldest guy on the team and the owner wants to meet you to probably say, hey, thanks for helping us out a little bit. Well, we're done with you. Want to think about coaching? And it was the opposite. It was actually, hey, look, got an opportunity here that we'd like you to possibly take advantage of. We're going to be interviewing people for our TV broadcasting job. And are you interested in doing something like that? And it kind of took me aback. I'm like, interested. Thinking about I was still playing, but this is something to consider. And in the end, it came down to speaking with my fiance at the time, and then going over things with my family and realizing this is the right thing to do. I was 36, short career was left at the playing field level, so I said, let's give it a try. Simple as that. I did the interview, got the job, and I've been up in the booth ever since.
Great. Well, I know there's a lot of excitement around the White Sox this season. I have to ask, because I'm sure some of our listeners want to know, what are your expectations for the White Sox this season? And also, are you excited to have Len Kasper coming down to the South Side to join you in the radio booth?
Wow, there's exciting things to definitely focus on. The team's going to be great. Expectations-wise, obviously, we built ourselves to be a championship team. This is a team that went to the postseason last year in the shortened season. I get it. But had we had more depth in our starting staff, then, of course, this would have been a team, probably starting pitching staff would have taken us closer to that World Series that we're looking for this year. So expectations for me with the depth of our starting pitching staff this year, which is a lot stronger and should be better. I don't see why they can't make it to the World Series, which is always a tough thing to say you're going to win. But I think top team in the American League, there's no question about that. And working with Len Kasper, what an honor. You think about this. Len Kasper had one of the most coveted jobs in all of baseball broadcasting. Simple as that. And he left to come join me in the White Sox radio. I was already there, and he knew he was stuck with me. He could have said, no, I'm not doing that. So I don't think there's a better honor that's going to be bestowed upon a broadcaster that a great broadcaster says he's willing to leave one of the best jobs in the business and come work with you. So I'm excited about the fact that Len's with me. I think we're going to have a lot of fun.
Well, I think the White Sox are going to be a lot of fun to watch this year, and we'll look forward to tuning in and listening to both of you.
Thank you.
Before we go, do you have any advice for Black baseball players at the amateur level who have dreams of playing in MLB?
Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, I would hope that the amateur players would have the passion of a Jackie Robinson and a Tim Anderson. I would say, humble like a Larry Doby and a Minnie Minoso. But at the same time, while they're doing these things, have fun, play the game the right way. I think the biggest key, if you want to stand out as any amateur, especially if you're a black amateur, is do all the little things right, the fundamentals. Back up the bases you're supposed to, get the men over when you're supposed to, do all the little things right. Don't be great at just one thing, be really good at all of them, and you'll stand out, and everybody will sit up and take notice.
Well, Darrin, I think that's great advice for baseball players, and it's great advice for anyone watching this today. It's good advice for life. So thank you for taking the time to share your stories. It's clear you followed your advice and have gotten you here. We give this award for your contributions, but we know they're not done. So we'll look forward to listening to you this year and cheering on the Go-Go Sox. Thank you, Darrin, for joining us today.
Thank you. I appreciate it. What an honor, privilege to be here today. Thank you, guys, and I look forward to seeing you guys in person somewhere down the line.